and it's the Voice of America, and we welcome you to the start of a brand new week. We have a very special guest in our studios, and she is gorgeous, she is talented, and she is internationally renowned. So we're welcoming back for the second time to the Voice of America, Chely Wright.
Hey, Larry. Well, that's quite a build-up there.
Well, we
internationally renowned.
Well, you are.
Thank you.
There's no doubt about it. You're an internationally known superstar. We get email for your music from all around the world.
Okay, that counts. We're global.
Global, and you're also the person who discovered the Rascal Flatts, which a lot of people don't realize that.
Well, I wouldn't say I discovered them as a band, but they did meet in my band. Two of Jay and Jodan, I had hired them each to be in my band, and they hadn't known one another, and then they met in my band and began while we weren't playing. On the weekend or during the weekdays, they would play downtown Nashville and kind of. I think they were just gigging for extra money, and they realized, holy cow, we're pretty good, and they made a demo tape and started writing songs, and lo and behold, we have Rascal Flatts. So I didn't have much to do with it other than giving them jobs.
And a lot has changed since the last time that we spoke. We were talking last time about a bumper sticker.
Yes,
that angered a woman.
Yeah, she got pretty upset about it.
And these days, many different things have changed and are going on in your life. I mean, in addition to the new CD that you've got out, which is a beautiful CD, brand new CD. What number CD is this? Is 10, 11?
I think it's my 7th studio album, but I have other like greatest hits records that the labels have put out. But this is the 7th studio record. It's called Lifted Off the Ground and was produced by the amazing Rodney Crowell. Mm-hmm. And I started writing these songs in early 2006. And I'm really proud of this record. I wrote the whole thing myself, except for one song that I did get to co-write with Rodney.
What's the difference between this album and the last one you put out?
I had tried to really take a step on the last record that we talked about, the Metropolitan Hotel. I had made an attempt creatively to step away from the commercial country music, as all artists in commercial music need to do at some point, because you can't always have hits,
Right.
You got to turn it over to the new younger guard at some point. And really, my objective has been to make records until I take my dying breath. And there's a way to do that. And I wanted to just grow as an artist and as a writer. And on that last record, I think I kind of made a half-hearted attempt. I think I got a little seduced by the radio, what will radio like? Mm-hmm. And so this album was a fully realized goal of trying to keep that artistic line, and Rodney was incredibly helpful in my doing that.
And the label, Vanguard's a great label for giving people freedom.
Yeah, and I won't say that I didn't have freedom before, but I was not afraid of my freedom this time. And
that's great.
And Vanguard Records is, of course, a historic record label, and I'm so happy that they heard this record 2 years ago. It's been finished for about 2 years, and I've waited, of course, to release it with my book. But they heard it 2 years ago, and they said, "We're in, and whenever you're ready to put it out." They wanted to put it out with the book as well, and they said, "We're in. We believe."
Okay, now you mentioned the book, so that's something that we definitely want to talk about today. Is the book is called Like Me, and it's a very personal book. It's I'm sure there were a lot of different stories in it that were very hard for you to write.
Yeah.
Very, very personal, very painful stories to tell.
Yeah.
One of the things that's different is that you have openly come out.
Yeah.
You're talking openly now about your sexuality.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to ask, first of all, that I haven't heard in the other interviews that I've watched, is I know you have a child. I believe it's a daughter.
I don't.
You don't have a child, or a girl or boy?
No.
Because I thought we texted once before, and maybe it was a pet you were talking about. Okay.
That was a pet.
A pet.
And she passed.
Oh, she did?
Year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was a Yorkie.
I assumed it was a child.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that, and that was my dog.
Was your child?
Yeah, that was my child. And as a lot of gay people will tell you, our pets are our children.
Right.
But yes, it was. It's an incredibly personal book, and it's a memoir. And my friend Mary Carr, the great memoirist who wrote The Liars Club and Cherry and Lit, she says, "Shell, anybody who writes a memoir worth a flip tells the whole truth and nothing but the truth." And I really worked hard to do that. There are parts in this book that were really, when you write your own story, there's a tendency to want to write yourself as a hero. Mm-hmm. It's hard to write your crimes against yourself and your crimes against others, but I did that. I needed to do that to give weight to my truth. And the only way to tell a good story is to tell the real story. And I feel like I've done that.
Why now? Why did you pick this point in time?
I decided to come out in June of 2007. And it did take me this long to write the book and get it released. But I decided then because I had a gun in my mouth. You haven't read the book yet.
No, I gave it to Mary. I didn't get a chance to read it.
I found myself not just toying with the notion of suicide, but having fully metabolized the notion, and had a 9mm gun in my mouth. And I felt trapped. I had masterfully painted myself into a corner. My existence of being a well-known country singer, in a genre which no one has ever openly acknowledged, being a gay person. I had done that. I had hidden so very well. And I found myself with these very real pieces of my life, being a successful country singer and a lesbian. And I did not know, Larry, how to make those parts intersect. For the life of me, everyone has a balance sheet in their life. And things that we do seem worth it. You do it for your job. You hate to leave your kids every day, but you get in your car and you go to work. That's part of your balance sheet. It's worth it to you to go make a living for your family. And my balance sheet just tipped over, and I looked at my life and I thought, what am I doing? I've lost my partner. I had a long-term relationship in which I detail in the book. And my life, the things I had arranged in my life no longer had meaning to me. I had no happiness and no joy, and I realized I need to not only come out for me, but I need to come out for the 14-year-old kid who's sitting in his bedroom in Nebraska feeling like an alien. And so that's why now.
Wow. I mean, I didn't realize that it got to that point. For somebody, people listening and saying that, you had such you still have such a successful life. On so many levels. Absolutely gorgeous. People magazine called you one of the most beautiful people in the world back in 1995. And you received all these country music awards. You've achieved all of these multi-platinum albums and these hits and successes. That you would still reach that point where it wasn't, where you had a question about going on.
Yeah, I used to judge people harshly who attempted suicide or who had accomplished suicide. I judged them harshly. In my mind, I thought they were godless and not very strong. What a weak person to take their own life. But when I found myself at a crossroads of really having no hope, which a lot of gay people find themselves in, a spot of not being able to fit into their life that they've created, or knowing that they'll never be accepted, whether it be in their home or in their work in place or in their vocation of perhaps the military. It happens. It's still, no one chooses to be gay, and this is who I am. And I've known for a long time that I'm okay with God. God and I have had long talks since I was a young girl. And once I knew that I was okay with God in my late teens, I still knew I was in social jeopardy. And I still knew I was in jeopardy with my dreams of being a country music singer. But I really, you're right. From the outside looking in, look at her life. Look at all that she has. And I hit my rock bottom though. When you lose love and companionship, and you realize that you are sitting alone in a big house in Nashville and nobody knows who you are, and you've committed 16 years and a lifetime of years of crimes against yourself, things get pretty clear pretty quickly.
Wow. Yeah, I'm speechless. Usually I'm not, but in
I
this
know.
instance,
I've never heard you speechless.
No, it's just I'm just floored, to learn that about you, and I'm sure that everybody who reads the book is probably equally as shocked to discover all of these different things. And one thing I did hear you describe in an interview was the relationship with your father, and how the news, when you told him, or he learned about your sexuality, how it affected him and your relationship.
Yeah. When a person like me hides, and I'm sure you have gay friends, you're in a profession where there are very creative people and a lot of diversity, and I'm sure that you perhaps know someone that has hidden before. And I can tell you that people like me, we compartmentalization is a part of the skill of hiding, and I was detaching from my family and my friends. Even my best friend didn't know. My best friend of 15 years, I didn't tell him until 5 years ago.